So today we're talking about two microphone systems, both wireless microphone systems. They both have two microphones, but there is a large price difference between them because the Saramonic Air is half the price of the DJI Mic 3. Now they work in very similar ways, but they have subtle differences. One large difference is that the Saramonic Air can be used with a lav mic. So if you want to be inconspicuous, if you want a little lav mic, which you're listening to right now, then Saramonic Air is for you. It's connected to my collar via a little wire, and I have the actual microphone in my pocket. So if you don't want to use the DJI Mic 3 or even the Saramonic Air standalone mic, have it sticking here like you see a lot of the time, and you want it to be a little bit more elegant, a little bit more subtle, then the Saramonic Air does give you the option to use a lav mic, which is pretty fantastic. And it's a shame that DJI did not include a lav mic in the DJI Mic 3. But the Mic 3 does have things like, 32-bit float. Apart from that, they're pretty similar, but like I said, twice the price for the DJI Mic 3. So you're getting the Saramonic Air for almost half the price, which is pretty fantastic. Anyway, I'm gonna let you listen to some raw audio from the Sony ZV-1 so you can see just how bad audio can sound, and then I'm going to show you a whole load of examples between these two microphones so you can listen to what they sound like, and if there is a difference between them that you feel you need to pay twice as much for.
I think we can all agree the worst thing to have go wrong in a video, even if you're watching a movie or the TV, is the audio. If you hear bad audio, you're probably going to turn it off. If the image quality is not great, you might turn a blind eye to that, but audio is so important, and I really like good audio. Right now you're listening to the ZV-1 audio. There is no microphone. It's about a meter away from my face, and this is what it sounds like. I love good audio. Now today we're talking about two microphones, and you might want to buy one over the other. We have the Saramonic Air, or we have DJI Mic 3. They both come in pouches. They're both pretty similar when it comes to what they can do, but there are pluses and minuses. We have 32-bit float here. We don't have that here, but we have lav mics. And we also have a price of $169, whereas this is $329. There's a large price difference. It's a really fantastic system for $169. But I know what you're thinking, but Phil, it's audio. You just said the most important thing is the sound, and that's true. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to put them through some tests, and you're going to listen to them one after the other. And you're going to decide which one suits you best when it comes to the audio, because we all hear a little bit different, we all see a little bit different, and I think it's important for you to hear which one of these sounds better for your ears or your project, whatever you're doing, your YouTube channel. And if you do need a lav, then this guy comes in handy. Unfortunately, there's no way of connecting a lav mic to the DJI Mic 3. It is a fantastic microphone system, but it's almost twice the price of the Saramonic Air. Let's have a look, and I'll listen.
So what we're listening to right now is the Saramonic Air. And just like all Saramonic microphones I've used, it's got a nice warm, deep, professional tone to it. So I really do like the sound of the microphones. That's why I continue working with Saramonic. Fantastic people, great microphones. And the thing about a wireless microphone, just let me stress this to you, is that it's going to sound as good right next to the camera as it is here, as it is outside in the garden. And I will be doing some tests outside, so you're going to be able to hear what both of these sound like. It's a little bit windy outside. I'll put on the wind muffs, we'll do the noise cancellations, because they do both have two levels of noise cancellation, which is really, really great. And the limiters help because the Saramonic Air does have a limiter. It does not have 32-bit float, just like the DJI Mic 3 has, but it has a limiter. The DJI Mic 3 also has a limiter, which is adaptive sound or adaptive audio. Basically means that it won't let it peak. It won't let it spike above a certain amount so that you don't have any distortion. And when you speak lower, it will bring it up a little bit. So your audio sounds really nice. Now, for people looking for 32-bit float, if you're doing like motorcycle engine sounds and stuff like that, where you really do need to watch out for your audio, then the DJI Mic 3 might be for you. But with the lav mic on the Saramonic Air, that's something that DJI couldn't fit in to the DJI Mic 3 or the DJI Mic Mini. Saramonic has done a fantastic job, and for $169, I think this microphone sounds really, really good. I do love that it has a charging case like the DJI Mic 3. Now, what do you think? Do you like the sound of the Saramonic Air? I really do, but I also like the sound of the Mic 3. So it's really down to which one you prefer, because both are quite similar. Let's listen to the DJI Mic 3. So now you're listening to me on the DJI Mic 3. And like I said, they're both very similar microphones, what they can do. They both have low cut, they both have 2 levels of noise cancellation. They both have, like I said, the limiter or the adaptive audio in the DJI Mic 3, and they both sound very good. But like I said, I mean, we see differently, just like we hear differently. And some people might prefer the sound of the Saramonic, some people might prefer the sound of the DJI. I like both. They both have a certain, cool sound to them, and they both sound very natural. To me, the DJI Mic 3 is an improvement on the DJI Mic Mini, which was an improvement on the DJI Mic 2, and the DJI Mic 3 already sounds very, very good. And like I said, if you need the 32-bit float, then the DJI Mic 3 might be the direction you want to go in. But if you don't need it, if you've never used it, if you don't think you'll have a need for it, if you're very good at setting levels, which isn't too hard, let's be honest, and if you need the option of a lav mic, the Saramonic comes boxed in the box with 2 lav mics, which is very nice that you have them and you can connect them and you can use them with such a small microphone system. They both work with magnets. They have magnets just like now. I've connected it to my, my hoodie without a hood. What's a hoodie without a hood called? Comment down below. And they both have USB-C charging on the actual case. They're both easy to connect. They both are very well made, and it really comes down to the sound for me, because I don't use the lavs too much. I don't use 32-bit float too much. It's all down to the sound. And at the moment, you've been listening to me on the DJI. So I am now outside with the Saramonic Air. And I've got to tell you one cool thing about both these microphones, and the idea behind them is really great. Wires. We've had enough wires, right? The Saramonic Air and the DJI Mic 3 work with a hot shoe adapter, so you don't have to plug it in via wire on your Sony camera. Most of us use Sony, YouTubers, and that means that you've got no wires, plug it in via the hot shoe adapter, and it works with the Sony, hot shoe system, meaning that you don't need a wire on either of them. Anyway, I have the wind muff on, which is really easy to get on the Saramonic Air, and it's really easy to get on the DJI Mic 3. I remember when it was impossible to get these things on, like the old Rode microphones, getting a wind muff on was impossible. Anyway, it is windy out here. And I can stand right here behind the window, and you should be able to hear me as clearly here as you heard me inside or right next to the camera. So that's really cool, and I do like that. The fact that you can hear me all the way out here. That's the magic of a wireless microphone. You've got freedom, you've got flexibility to walk around. Now let's try the noise cancellation and see if we can do something about these birch trees here, which are incredible to listen to, and they're very peaceful, but they might get in the way of the audio. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back a little bit right here, so there's a lot of wind hitting me. This is noise cancellation level 1 on the Saramonic Air, and like I said, there are a lot of large birch trees around here. I can hear them very loudly. I'm wondering what it's doing to my voice. A lot of noise cancellation does have this kind of robotic feel to it, especially in the older DJI microphones. It would sound very robotic. Whereas I'm hoping it gets better and better. I know in the DJI Mic 3 it's got better. I know in the Saramonic Air it's got better. But sometimes depending on where you are, for example, if you're in a busy city and there are a lot of people talking, it can get a little bit crazy. So beware of that. But outside, it should do a really good job. Let's listen to level 2. Right, in fact, I'm not sure which is level 1, which is level 2. I'm sure we'll hear in a minute. But basically, when you press the noise cancelling button once, it has noise cancelling logo with a little green icon, and you press it again, there's no little green icon. So those are the 2 levels. So I'm not sure if this is level 1 or level 2, but I'm sure you guys are going to be able to hear if the sound from all these trees around me is making any difference. Now, the autumn has come, winter is coming, but there are still a lot of leaves left on the birch trees, and they are very, very loud, as well as the wind. Now let's see what DJI's got up its sleeve. Yeah, it's still pretty windy. Now I'm back with the DJI Mic 3. No noise reduction on just yet, just put on the wind muff. Like I said, the wind muffs are really easy to put on for both of them. The DJI actually comes with 2 grey and 2 black. So that's nice. Not only do you have a color choice, but they have a slightly different density. So if it gets really, really windy, you can change. Anyway, this is what it sounds like, and just like with the Saramonic Air, I can walk away and I'm behind a glassed terrace door, patio door, whatever you want to call it. I think it's terrace. The one downstairs is a patio, upstairs is a terrace. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, this is what it sounds like, and it's nice that they come with easy wind muffs nowadays. Oh my gosh, that used to be a nightmare. Let's try noise cancellation. So it is getting windier and windier. We are now on noise cancellation level 1, which is called basic on the DJI. And I'm sorry if it's going in and out of focus. I actually have no idea if it is, but like I said, the most important thing is the audio we're listening to. The birch trees are still going crazy. I'm getting some wind coming in from here and from over there. So yeah, we should have a good, nice comparison here between these 2 microphone systems, and you'll be able to hear if there is a reason you'd pay twice as much for the DJI Mic 3 as, you know, it's a lot more expensive, and maybe that 32-bit flow isn't for you, and maybe you prefer the lav mics, and maybe you just prefer the sound. So, well, it's up to you. This is just me giving you some raw audio so you can listen and make up your own mind. And now level 2 with the DJI Mic 3, which is called strong noise cancellation. And I'm going to go out here again, and you're going to be able to listen to me and see if how much difference it makes, and if it goes robotic in any way at all. It's a really nice day. It's been raining for the last 2 days. In fact, almost 2 weeks, and we moved in here. We bought this house about 3 weeks ago now, so I'm not living in the center of Łódź anymore. I'm living just on the outskirts of Łódź, still in Łódź, but just on the outskirts. It's nice to have the freedom of having a garden now, so I can do a lot more filming outside, except when it's raining. But anyway, what do you think about the differences in noise cancellation? Is it something that you can hear quite clearly? Is one more robotic than the other? No idea. Let's do some distance tests. Oh, and there is one more thing. With the DJI, we do have profiles. So you have like a warm tone profile, you have a kind of a punchy profile. They're things that you can see in my review of the DJI Mic 3. And it's not really something I use. I keep it on standard, but you can use them if you do wish to. It just changes your voice a little bit into a slightly different tone. I prefer keeping my natural tone. But yeah, you do have the option with the DJI. Right, we are now doing the distance test. Can I see the lens? There it is. If I can see the lens, you can probably see me. Let me stress, a distance test is pretty cool because it gives you the flexibility to walk away from the camera and have the audio be as good as it is next to the camera all the way over here. We're about 30 meters away. I'm sure this microphone can go quite a bit further back. I'm guessing 80, 100 meters. but I don't think anybody's going to be going back that far. Now, the one thing DJI has over the Saramonic Air, which might make you consider, spending twice as much money, is the DJI Mic 3 has internal storage, which allows you to record internally. So for example, if you're in a situation like this and the audio cuts out because it's got no line of sight, the DJI can record internally. If you do turn that feature on and you press record, it can record for 20 hours on 2 microphones or 40 hours on 1 microphone. So that's a pretty cool thing in case you need that feature. I very, very rarely use that, so the Saramonic Air is fine, though I obviously have both. Now, it could cut out if there is no line of sight, so I'm gonna spin around, count to 10, and see how that turns out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did it cut out? How do I sound? There is no noise reduction, nothing going on. It's just simple me, the camera, the microphone, and the wind muff, because there is a little bit of wind out here again. All right, I am back now with the DJI Mic 3. I can see the lens, so you guys can see me. Like I said, this microphone does have internal recording, so I could press the red button on the side and it would start recording internally. So if I did feel there's a situation where it could cut out, I'll have a backup. Now, the Saramonic does have a backup, but it has a backup recording onto the actual camera, which is completely different. This has internal recording. So like I said, that might be something to consider if you want to spend twice the amount of money to get the Mic 3. But the Saramonic Air, I did listen to it, and for the distance test, it does very well. So it shouldn't cut out on you. Let's spin around, count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some microphones do cut out. I did have the DJI at about 100 meters, and it did very good, as did the Saramonic Air before, because I have been testing these over the last couple of weeks, months. Both excellent microphones, and both microphones you can completely rely on. So it really depends what your needs are. It's still raining on me, a little bit wet. Horrible weather. The last 3 weeks have just been horrible.